with you another one of my banjos from the last year. This one is a Longneck. You know, I don't know if I shared it in my other videos, but this whole journey with the banjo and the banjo history sort of started for me with stumbling on Ken Burns's country music documentary series, which just talked about the history of country music and folk music in the U.S. and actually, for me, revealed something I didn't know, that the banjo was really America's instrument, something that came out of the history of America, and and I guess you could say, unfortunately, it's all of its linkages with the African slave trade, and I was really taken with that and decided, it was then actually I started looking for a banjo, and I had assumed at that point that the 4-string banjo preceded the 5-string banjo, which in some ways you could say is true, because some of the earliest banjos were just 2 and 3-string gourd type instruments with drone strings. But anyway, that's what precipitated my buying of a tenor banjo, an Irish tenor banjo, and starting my little journey with learning about the history of the banjo, and again, just more and more fascinated with the fact that the banjo is really kind of every man's instrument, and from the earliest times, they were made out of whatever people had on hand, which in Africa was gourds and sticks and pieces of leather and tacks and things like that. So just really fascinated with that, and always just sort of interested to see what I could do with the things on hand. So there was a day we were taking a walk together, my wife and I, and somebody had tossed out a wooden salad bowl. I think it's a Target variety salad bowl. This was the bottom of it, and it's in a somewhat different shape than it used to be, but it's a solid wood bowl. And I thought, I'm going to see what I can do with that salad bowl. I think because my early gourd banjos, I had some trouble, as I talked about in some of my previous videos, with the thin gourds. When you stretch the skins over them, the gourds are pliable, so you got a skin that's flexing because the temperature changes, and you also have a gourd that's flexing and moving, and just creates some challenges to keep the skin taut and to get that kind of crisp tone that you're looking for, or at least I'm looking for. So I thought, let's try something a bit more solid, and so I started working on this bowl, and I had a nice piece of, I think it was like a 3 by 2 inch pretty long piece of wood in my garage. I'm not actually sure what kind of wood it is. It actually might be cherry. It looks like a piece of cherry. Those of you who are really understand wood, you can probably tell me what that is. So I glued up a piece here for the for the end of the neck there, for the heel, and also glued a little bit of another snub on for the top of the headpiece, which I hid that little line with a little piece of inlaid cedar. And my goal has always been to kind of do something different with each of my projects, and I had learned a little bit about Pete Seeger and his invention of the long neck banjo, and I thought, I'm just going to make a long neck fretless bowl banjo, and that's what this is. So this piece of wood runs clear through the gourd, pretty hefty. I went with a square format for the back, coming out, and put a sort of a little decorative end on it. So that's all one piece, and made a little tail piece out of some wood that's on hand. Again, I often use that little dark wood that I'm also not sure what it is, and made a bridge out of that same wood unfinished, but yeah, I was really pleased with, extremely pleased with the nature of the sound. Just a very rich tone I got out of this particular bowl. And for me, it's one of the exciting things about making an instrument is you just don't have a clue at the front end what it's going to sound like, if it's going to sound good, or if it's actually going to come together with a playable action. That's one of the biggest challenges I have found in my brief luthering career, is just trying to figure out the angle of the hole going through the neck so that you end up in the end with a reasonable action on the fretboard. So I did my sort of trademark little dots for I used copper wire again, just drilled some holes and placed those into the fretboard for a visual cue. And I did find that this, you'll be wondering about these little knobs down here on the bottom, and those are just drawer pulls that I stuck in there as something to sort of catch on my clothing. So when I'm playing it, it's not so slippery. So those kind of give me a little something to keep it from slipping out of my lap. It didn't work quite as well as I had thought, but I don't know, I think it looks all right. So that is bowl banjo. This is actually the first bowl banjo that I made. I put together another video of a small sort of travel-sized bowl banjo that I made out of a little Chinese bowl that I found at Goodwill one day. And actually this one I actually put in some little markers also, some copper wire markers on the top of the fretboard. So that's it. Bowl banjo. Longneck, fretless. Thanks for watching.